What's up, folks? Man Amzn here, and welcome back to the channel. So I realized that while I was doing the weapon manager restructuring video, that the video that one replaced talked about how to shoot a weapon, and I discarded it and never replaced it. So my apologies. If you have not been following closely enough to catch that yourself and to write out the script as we were doing the video, then this is what this video is for, to give you guys an official video on shooting the weapon. And this should be out around the same time that you guys get the weapon switching. So that'll be 2 videos that day. Pretty cool. So let's just go over the script, and we're going to set up the bullet and all that good stuff so you guys will have a way to shoot the weapon. So let's open the weapon manager script that should be on your weapons by now. This should look very familiar. Your property should be all the way set up. All right, and now if we go down to the onPressed event, so this is what we need for shooting the weapon. We want to call the spawner request bus. We want to spawn, and we want to point to the weapon barrel. And then we're going to do an audio trigger component, which is going to basically give us our sound. So let's go ahead and close that. All right, and if we go over to our weapon and look at our barrel needs a spawner component that you can find under gameplay here. And we want to point to a slice. So to set that up, what we want to do is we want to create an entity called bullet. And once you create that, we want to add a rigid body physics. Right now I have the density set to 0 because I don't want any simulated bullet drop on the weapon, or on the bullet rather. I also remove collision response because I don't want the bullet to simulate physics when it hits an object. We're going to add a primitive collider to coincide with the rigid body physics. And that's going to require a sphere shape. Well, it's going to require a shape. I'm just using the sphere. We're going to use a mesh so we can see the bullet, and it's going to be pointing to the sphere. And then we're going to have a Lua script. And that script we're going to open up. All right, and we have one property called bullet speed. I have it set to 300. In our on activate, we are calling to the spawn notification bus, and we're connecting to that. We're also connecting to the physics component notification bus, and we're going to call that collision call, and we're going to call the spawner call, or you can call it whatever you want. This is what I'm going to call it. And then I'm just going to set a few variables. So we have local transform, and we're going to get the transform bus .event .get world TM. And we're going to set that to ourselves. And then we're going to use that variable to get our forward vector, which is going to equal to a transform get column 1, which points forward. So once we do that, when it activates, we want the ball or the bullet to immediately have velocity or impulse. So we're going to have our physics component request bus set velocity, and we're going to get self, and we're going to get our forward vector multiplied by the bullet speed. All right, that's for the on activate. And for the on collision that we have here, we're going to pass in a parameter called collision, and we're just going to check to see if the collision that we collide with, the entity of that collision.entity, has the tag of enemy. And if it does, then we can do a whole bunch of stuff. And this is where we're going to put all of our code for, bullet impacts and sounds for collision, health depletion, whatever that needs to happen once that bullet collides with a certain enemy. All right, and once that's done, we're going to put the destroy game entity and descendants outside of the if statement because we want it to happen regardless. So we don't want this to happen only if it's an enemy. All right, and that's our bullet script. And with those two things, you should, if I go ahead and hit play, we should be able to pick up a weapon and shoot. If I get that. Cool. So now we have weapon shooting properly. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a very dope day. Hope you guys are enjoying the series thus far. Hope you guys are prospering in your overall projects. And until next time, keep developing.